Too many white friends. Glen Burnie, Maryland. Hey cousins, I've been listening to you guys since last year, and I need your help. I'm the kind of person that always wanted to know about my culture. Growing up, my mom was a black woman born in the 60s who grew up in the Caribbean islands during the Black Revolution. So she didn't really understand it or wasn't affected by it. So me, being a 28-year-old black woman, I wanted to know more about my culture, which she kind of looked down on, and what they had to go through to get where we are. But somehow my personality keeps attracting white people as friends. So to the part I need your help with. I have a white friend who's a female. She's been my best friend for 3 years now. And after all the controversy for black people, she's trying to understand. And we've had many conversations about it, and it frustrates me to have to constantly explain the black side of the story. How do I nicely tell her that she will never understand and that she will never be afraid to be pulled over, go for a hike, a run, or even accidentally get lost in a neighborhood without it costing you your life? Really do love you guys. Get it up. Signed, empowered black woman with too many white friends. So I don't think that you nicely need to tell her anything like what you're thinking. I think that you just need to be patient and continue to fill in those gaps for her. For some, this isn't just for black and white. This goes for, culture to culture to culture. We have to learn those different cultures, in schools, for example. I might have kids from Asian backgrounds, and one thing they do is they don't make eye contact with their elders. So before, I used to be like, why is this kid not looking at me? They're not talking to me. Like, they're not speaking up when they speak to me. Like, what's going on? They ignore me. And after a while, and after I did some more research on my own, like, I found out that it's, almost a sign of disrespect to look into an elder's face from some cultures and to raise your voice. So I had to learn that on my own, but I had to go find that information. So I'm saying that to say every culture kind of has to learn other cultures, and I can't just expect to know, and I can't expect other people to know. So black people can't, or people of color in general, can't expect for white people to just understand. Or even when it comes to the way that we talk, whenever we're comfortable with each other and just around each other, we can't expect them to know what we're talking about, because they're not. So I say just keep being patient, keep explaining it to her. You can explain to her that it can get frustrating or tiresome for you to keep explaining this to her, and explain where that comes from and why, but don't just be nasty about it. There is no nice, polite way to say what you're saying. You can just say it. She wants to know, and you should appreciate that. I applaud your friend, and I applaud you, for teaching her what you need to teach her. Facts. So that's it.
Basically, we get that paper late because they love your reaction to the letters, your blind reaction. Mm-hmm. So, but I know that you also like to have a paper so you can read the facts. So now we gotta split it.
But for this letter, it's funny. I was just having a conversation about this with somebody like literally last week. The best advice I can give to you is, keep explaining. I know it can be a daunting task and get very tedious and annoying, but just keep explaining and not reassuring, but just keep explaining to her. But also understand and let her know this: you will never get it. Point blank clear. There's no nice way to say it. Anybody who is not black will never get what we have to deal with, what we have dealt with. You just won't understand. It's not who you are. It's not what you come from. I was just telling somebody, I was like, bro, you can have little Jimmy. Little Jimmy can be white. Little Jimmy can get adopted. Little Jimmy can live with black mama, 2 black brothers, 1 black sister, black father, in an apartment in the worst neighborhood you can think about. Have to live from 6 years old to damn 21 years old in the same fucking environment, and he will never understand. It's not the same. Cause Little Jimmy is Little Jimmy, a white boy. So y'all go to Walmart, guess what? Even if Lil Jimmy is with y'all, somebody will come up to Lil Jimmy and say, hey, are you okay? Or they will think that Lil Jimmy two brothers are out stealing or doing XYZ, but they won't even think about Lil Jimmy doing it simply for the fact of the color of his skin. So explain to your friend, and you give her props and kudos for even trying to understand this shit. Hey, I appreciate you for putting in the effort trying to understand, and I'm glad that you are doing what you need to by coming to me. But the one thing you have to understand as somebody who was explaining is that anybody who is not of your race will never understand. They won't get it. You can preach it till you blue in the face. They can relate. They can have empathy. They can maybe even feel where you're coming from, but they will not get it. It's a big difference between I have seen this shit, I've heard this shit, versus I live this shit every day. You can't base what you know from what you have heard from down the line and just call that, yeah, I relate. I see what you go through and I'm standing here with you. I appreciate it 100%. I would never not turn, you know what I'm saying? I would never turn that down. Thank you. Thank you for trying to be part of the community, but you are not part of the community. There's no nice way to say it. And she shouldn't feel no type of way about you saying that. Girl, I let you in on everything else. I'm letting you know this is how it is in black culture. You really want to know this shit? Here I am to let you know. I can give you tidbit after tidbit after tidbit, but you won't get it. So stop trying to preach to all your white friends till you're blue in the face about all this shit that we have to deal through and go through, because you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. It's like talking, I don't want to say it's like talking to a wall, but they don't get it. Point blank period, bro. That's all I got for that one.
Well, shit. Hey, cousin. This is cousin Jared the Great talking to you. I don't know. I appreciate this letter.
I like it.
I appreciate this letter. Too many white friends. You said that you love us, been listening to us since last year. You part of that 999.9.
Thank you.
And I need your help. I'm the kind of person that always wanted to know about my culture. Growing up, my mom was a black woman born in the 60s who grew up in the Caribbean islands during the Black Revolution. So I'll tell you this. The Caribbean islands is also your culture. Don't shy away from that. I'm not sure what island, what is, but the Bahamas or Jamaica or the DR or wherever. Like, that's your culture too. Don't be black, but also understand your culture and your prevalence to that. So she really didn't understand and was affected by the revolution in the 60s. So you being 28 years old, a black woman, you wanted to know more about your culture, which your mom kind of looks down upon. I don't know if y'all know this, but y'all ever talk to an African?
Yeah, like a real African.
A real African?
Or a real Haitian.
Or a real Haitian.
Haitian.
They don't fuck with us.
They don't.
A lot of people don't fuck with black people.
You are not me. They don't fuck with African Americans.
Yeah. Because
you are American. You got it easy. You in America. Not knowing the shit we've been through.
Talk about their mama 50 times.
Not knowing that your people migrated to those countries or in those countries. Your people were going through the same things that we was going through in our countries. But maybe we dealt with it a little bit longer. So that cultural divide is always interesting to me. That the Caribbean people and the African people don't necessarily accept African Americans because we got that American stigma to us. It's interesting. But somehow your personality keeps attracting white people, and is that a bad thing?
No,
not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Because
you don't like it.
Because you maybe speak proper with a nice accent, and they say that you talk like a white girl.
Or you hang out.
Or you hang out with the white people.
From the islands.
They say that you are Yaman. But that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm not judging you from that. Like, people are gonna be people. Attract the energy that attracts you. Fuck with who fucks with you. That's not a bad thing. But you got this white friend who y'all been best friends for 3 years now. And 2020, I gotta say, it was a rough year for white people.
There's a lot going on. And
the top of 2021 was a rough year for them too when they stormed that goddamn Capitol. So I'm not mad at white people who want answers, like who's asking questions. If she wasn't asking questions, that'll be the problem. But if they're asking questions, I'm not mad at them for that, because that means that they're receptive to learning. Now, to Vasco's point, there was a song by Will Smith. We talked about him earlier. Nick Cannon, Romeo, and 3LW remixed it. It's called Parents Just Don't Understand. Flip that. Change parents to white people. Just don't understand and will never understand the trials and tribulations of being black. But now, if your friend, to Vasco's point, has empathy and can understand what you're going through as being a black Caribbean woman in the States or wherever, what's she from?
Maryland.
Being a black Caribbean woman in Maryland, if they have empathy towards it, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know. I would never understand it. But I can see I can see how this is rough on you. That's a good friend.
Facts.
If they're not empathetic to it, fuck them.
It's not that many people, not that many white people
who actually give a fuck,
who are asking questions, and not in a how'd you get your hair like that?
Yeah.
Type of way, like surface level. Like she sounds like she really wants to know what's up. So
I worked at UNF. It's a college here in Jacksonville, University of North Florida, and one of the we had a big scandal on campus, and white people was on Snapchat and they took pictures of themselves like dancing as monkeys the same day as the BSU rally, and they said this is how all the black people were looking at the BSU rally. And then we had a cultural conversation led by a white woman, which I was kind of pissed off about that, because I'm like, if you're gonna have a cultural conversation, black woman need to lead this, or a black person needs to lead this. But there was a white guy there who dressed as Trevor Connor, polo shirt, khaki pants, Sperry's. If you saw him around, you'd be like, oh, this is a typical white guy. But he was asking questions. Well, why? Well, how? Well, what? And I was like, and they were some black people that were trying to like jump on him. And I was like, probably 2 weeks into my job, I said, oh. Let's not jump on him. Right. One, because he's here, and then two, because he's asking questions. So he really wants to know he's trying to be. He would never understand, but he wants to be empathetic. And towards the end of the night, he became more empathetic. Like, I see, I understand, I know. And 2020 was a hell of a year for black people. Was that Breonna Taylor? Was that my man's and I got a shit. George Floyd.
That was in Maryland.
Was that the rallies? Was that Ahmaud Arbery? Ahmaud Arbery? Was that my man in Georgia who got killed in the Wendy's parking lot? That was a tough year for us.
I remember that.
It was a tough year for black people.
Well, I was inspecting that video.
It was tough. So as long as your friend is asking questions, to be empathetic and not being the opposition, I'm not mad at her, and you shouldn't be either. And don't beat yourself up for having white friends. You got many white friends. You borrow money, they don't even ask for it back. So that's my answer to you, black and empowered woman with too many white friends. You get some more friends. Go to an HBCU. How old she was?
I was going to say, there's a lot of clubs around town you can find.
Yeah, join your local NAACP and join your local chapter or whatever, and get engulfed in your culture if you really want to know about your culture.
Just be wary, because you might lose some friends in the process of gaining.
There you go.
Just be wary.
Say that again.
That is true.
Say that again.
And getting to know your culture.
You acting really different.
Yeah, and getting to know your culture, folks gonna think you acting different. And
then can I say this?
Some people.
Jerry, don't say that. I'm gonna say it. Don't get too engulfed in black culture.
Too woke.
Too woke. Don't become a hotep. Don't become.
What's my name? You know who I'm thinking about? The Dr.
Umar.
Yeah.
Don't you take your ass out there. Or even the other guy who be giving women relationship advice.
The older dude.
Who?
He is funny.
Not Jackson, but him too. Who the other guy? They say,
with them glasses.
with the glasses.
That was just talking to Brittany Renner.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
fuck.
don't
She went on them.
Yes, he had a whole convo with her.
Don't take
They
your
all
ass
in
down that road.
cahoots, but
Fuck them niggas. Don't be like them niggas. But everybody else, know your coach, know where you from, and love it. Nessa.
yes.